Yo, what's up guys? Suzuka VSR Infamous here, and welcome back for another video. This one is for WOR Japan, round 17 I believe it is, and heading into this one we can happily say that the confidence was looking a lot better. The pace was looking a lot better than it was at Singapore, even though we came away with a good result at Singapore, in all fairness. Japan is definitely a track that gels well with me, and yeah, it's just one of the best tracks on the calendar, to be honest. You really have to be in a rhythm to be quick round here. And yeah, so heading into this one, loads of people were showing good pace as well. I think it's just one of those tracks that, you know, inspire you to do well, and you want to do laps around this track. At least that's what I feel. So yeah, there was probably about a handful, maybe a few more of people who were doing like high 26s, which is basically the target lap time if you want to have any chance of pole in a league like this. So we were able to do that in practice. We were hitting 26.9 for the most part. My PB's a bit quicker than that, but couldn't quite get it out of this car on this day, in practice at least. So just wanted to get on the first couple of rows, at least for me. That I would have been happy with that. But yeah, right now we're just getting ourselves some space from our teammate in front, making sure we don't get any dirty air, and see what we can lay down as our banker. So trying to get a good exit off this last chicane now, avoiding that bump on the inside. Heading down to turn 1 now, overtake, 8th gear, and DRS is open. And just trying to put a nice tidy lap in. You can see we're not really pushing the boundaries too much. Nice slow down shifts, not taking any risks through here. Yeah, keeping it nice and smooth. Yeah, even lifting between those couple of corners, which isn't really optimal. But yeah, just making sure we keep it nice and tidy. We lose the back end slightly out of there, and we clip the grass, so we'd lost a little bit of time there. That's alright. So heading through the Degners, not really pushing the outermost capabilities of the car, let's say. Now heading into the hairpin, see what we can do here. We go a little bit wide of the apex, but try and get a good launch using the double short shift to third there, and up into 7th gear and overtake once again, heading into spoon. See what we can do here, braking quite early, clipping the grass on the inside and having to take several stabs at the steering wheel there. That was far from ideal. So there was plenty of time to gain there, for sure, but carrying on nonetheless, trying to get this lap under our belts. There's a car just in front of us here, pulls off nicely, and now we've just got the chicane to contend with. Brake at the 100 metre board. We actually lock up and miss the apex slightly there, so it's not been a great lap. And as you can see, it didn't finish well either, nearly stacking it in the barriers on the inside over that horrible bump. So yeah, that put us in P5, and after the second round of laps we've done a 27.2, after that 27.6 initially. Still not great pace. I think provisional pole right now is 26.9 by Syra. So yeah, just need to improve by a couple of tenths at least, because we're not going to get any higher than P5 at this rate, and we're only going to go down from here. It's not a great time, so trying to push the boundaries a bit more. We're going green already on our second lap, so just trying to carry a lot more speed through here, take nice sweeping lines, trying to get some nice late apexes and really carry the speed through here, not clipping the grass on the outside, so we continue to gain time. We lost the 100 metre board on the left, but that's alright. Managed to keep that relatively tidy through the Degners, and now heading down to the hairpin, try and keep it a little bit tighter than we did on our first lap, which we don't really, but we still try and get a good exit, which we do. We're going green still, well we're gaining more time, should I say. Now we know we have a little bit more time left in the tank through spoon here, so trying to carry as much speed in as possible. We could have taken a little bit more, but didn't want to throw the lap away, using all the track on the exit, adjusting the differential, and now up into overtake, passing the Karen Kane on the left. He's gearing up for his last lap. His pace is looking pretty solid around here, but now we have to focus on us. making sure we don't miss the apex this time, taking plenty of curb on the right and on the left. Don't lose the car over the bump, and now shortest route up to the line, open the DRS, and that's a 1:26.8. And yeah, that was my best lap of the day, and as you can see, no one else could beat that. JD Limitless came very close. He got a toe off Martin's AI car, but yeah, we just about managed to hold that. And yeah, I was buzzing with that, doing a well, not PB, but best of the day in the actual session. So yeah, can't complain with that at all, doing the best time at the time of the session. So now heading on to the formation lap, we've got Limitless lining up behind us, but as you can see by the top left, there's only our names there. Usually you have 3, and that is the reason why there isn't 3 is because Syra has lagged out of the session, and for him that's an absolute disaster in terms of the championship. At this point, him and Pinecone are really close, and this has just blown it wide open now for Pinecone to really try and extend his championship lead now. But irrespective of that, we're going to have to try and focus on those guys behind, because Limitless is now going to have a free run at me without having Cyrus starting next to him, so we have to focus on getting a good start now. So waiting for everyone to line up. Now we're waiting for the lights. 4 and 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go, and we get a decent start. It wasn't great, but it was enough. Covered in the middle of the track, and yeah, we hold on to the lead there. So that was absolutely crucial, first job done, because once you get in front of someone around here, it is pretty difficult to overtake. There's really 3 main overtaking spots, I would say. One being the first corner, which we've covered, second being the hairpin, and lastly being the chicane, heading onto that DRS straight. So yeah, holding on to the position there was absolutely crucial, and now we can try and really try and use our race pace here. For once, I was thinking the race pace wasn't actually quite as strong as the qualifying pace. It was all right, but it wasn't anything stunning. But as you can see, we're starting to drop that arrow. It's completely faded now from JD, and I saw this as an opportunity to try and break the DRS. So we're going to try and do that as well as we can, or we're going to try and do that as well as we can. And yeah, the arrow is completely gone now, so we're trying to get a nice clean run down this straight towards 130R, trying to break the slipstream as well. As you can see, we've got a fair old gap. I think that's 6 or 7 tenths. But we skip on to the end of lap 8. Yeah, we're skipping on quite a lot here, and basically nothing happened that whole stint. Limitless was just about held on to the DRS, and yeah, we wasted a ton of fuel and ERS trying to break away, and we nearly hit the wall again. The pit wall on the inside this time, and that would have KO'd our race there. But yeah, just getting stopped in the box, making sure to try and get a good pit stop. 2.5, nice and straightforward there, but it's not straightforward for Limitless, who comes out behind VSR Antoine. Don't know what happened to him there. He was just held for that a little bit longer. But yeah, now we've got an opportunity here, because we've got a gap between Antoine now, and we really have to try and use these medium tyres to the best of our ability. But yeah, the only problem with that, as Leobot has gone off in the gravel there, don't know what happened there, but thankfully he stays out the way nicely. So respect for that. But yeah, we need to try and use these medium tyres now. Pinecone is trying to perform the overcut on us, so we have to try and hit these tyres hard. But as you can see, we're not really too committed. We're getting a little bit of understeer, and that's because we hadn't actually done any practice whatsoever on the medium, so I didn't really know what to expect. But as you can see, we managed to jump Pinecone in the pits pretty nicely there. He drops behind Antoine and Limitless, and maybe 1 or 2 others as well, going that extra lap. So yeah, we just have to settle down now. We're still in the provisional lead. Try and hold that gap to Antoine if we can. But I know from practice his race pace was very strong as well. So there's absolutely no guarantee of that, and we don't have the most fuel and ERS in the world. And that's what happens when you lead. for the whole race, and well, the whole race so far, and everyone can save their stuff behind you. But skipping on now, about middle of the race, you can see Scuderia loses the back end there on his old mediums, and he pulls to the left hand side and lets me go there. He knows that he's not in the same race as us, and there's no point getting embroiled in a battle with the race leaders. So yeah, grateful for that. And now we're gonna skip on now. Yeah, skip on now behind our teammate for this round, WR Dark Beef. I feel as if I have a different teammate every week. I don't think there's a confirmed number 2 driver in the Haas, or maybe there is now, but there wasn't back then. But yeah, we've got Dark Beef in the Haas, in the second Haas this week, and we're just going to have to chase him down over the next lap or so, try and dispatch of him, and yeah, if we can get lucky, use the traffic in our advantage. But it definitely hasn't been our advantage this time, as Anton got a mighty tow off Scuderia down that straight towards that 130R, and as you can see, he is now within the DRS window. So skipping on to the next lap, we've caught up to the back of Dark Beef here, and yeah, we've not got a lot of ERS, so just hoping that we can get past him nice and easily. And as you can see, he's pulling to the inside now to let us go, but he's not really slowing down, and he's actually not going to let us go. He's actually defending, and my first instinct is pulling me over to let me by. I was like, oh, mad respect, but no, he's going to fight it, and you know, well within his right, despite being a pit stop down. You know, you do you, I suppose. But now we are being held up massively. We were running a pretty understeer setup anyway, and now we're picking up the dirty air through the first sector, and as you can see, Anton is right on the back of us now. And not only is that costing our chance of breaking the DRS, it's also costing us time to limit some Pinecone, who are only, you know, I don't know, a second or, well, just over a second behind Antoine. And this is going to give him a chance of the DRS, but as you can see, Dark Beef's mediums are pretty worse for wear right now, not getting a good exit off that hairpin, and we need to get past him as soon as possible here if we are going to have a chance of, you know, keeping it a 2-horse race. And as you can see, he's kept it down the inside there, and he's hit the side of us, and he's gone spinning round. The angle just did not work. You know, that was never going to work 2 into 1. Yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. But I was pretty sure, you know, into the corner I was in front, and then he sort of slammed the throttle open and he went for it, and you know, that's what happened. But anyways, moving on now, and yeah, VSC's out now, and as you can see on the left hand side, Zit has crashed. I don't know how that happened. Maybe lost the back end over the bump, not really sure. So just trying to take this opportunity now to save a little bit of ERS, a little bit of fuel, stick to the Delta, and see what can happen out of this. But yeah, so as we're coming to the end of this now, making sure we don't speed or anything, not taking any risks now, not going to throw this away just yet at least. So yeah, moving on now, lap 17, and Antoine is all over us. So you can see his arrow is right on us, and at this point I was not really too interested in battling him. I wanted to keep that gap to Pinecone and JD, so I'm going to turn everything down here, let him go, let him pull us along for a little bit, because you know, I haven't been able to save anything behind anyone really so far this race. So we're going to take this opportunity now and try and keep the gap to the guys behind, as those guys are motoring on now. So yeah, let's see what we can do over this next few laps. But as you can see, Antoine is really hooked up to this first sector, so we're in a little bit of danger of losing the DRS here if we aren't too careful. So we can't afford to save too much. Definitely have to use some of the engine to keep up with him. So using medium and rich and stuff like that. So yeah, getting a better exit off here, and it seems that we have the advantage in the second half of the lap. So sticking with him nicely here, as we've got a message.
The gap to the car behind is 1.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:30.4.
So yeah, as you heard there, Pinecone's about 1.3 seconds back, so that's fine for now, as long as we don't let it dip below that 1 second. We can keep it between me and Anton here for the win, which is, you know, maybe not the most entertaining for the viewers, but definitely the best situation for us. Try and keep it as simple as possible here. trying to, so we don't have to look behind too much, just try and focus on saving. As you can see, turning it down, both the engine and the battery, but skipping on a few laps later now. We managed to save a little bit, because the fuel situation was pretty bad, and we managed to keep the 1 second gap to Pinecone. So turning up into rich and high here, opening the DRS, and we're going to start turning it down again, saving like we like to do, but Anton's turning it down as well, so we're going to have to go past him here or we're going to lose so much time. So going down the inside here, and we actually clip him I think there, and that sends us out wide, and yeah, we've just lost a ton of time there, having to stay in the middle of the track for the S's, and we've probably lost about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 tenths doing that, just by me going wide on it, something like that, half a second. So yeah, that's really bad, and as you're going to be able to see, going through the first split here, gaps on the top left, Pinecone is now within DRS of Antoine, and that slightly messy exchange between Antoine has really cost us now, with 5 laps to go or so of this race, and now the aim was just to try and deploy that little bit of ERS, that little bit of fuel that we managed to save, and try and stretch the gaps back out so I wasn't under attack constantly, because yeah, I don't really fancy that, to be fair. No other way of saying it really. So yeah, trying to use the extremities of the battery, using overtake here through up to 130R, turning it down to high and medium, and skipping on another few laps later, lap 25. We've managed to keep a sensible gap to the guys behind, keeping them at arm's length, so they don't really have too much of a chance. Trying to get a good exit off here, but yeah, the confidence on the throttle off the last corner of that bump is seriously lacking. As you can see, we're down to a pretty low ERS, and Antoine is coming for us here, so we're going to cover the middle of the track, see if he goes for it, and he doesn't. He thinks better of that one. I just made the angle a little bit awkward for him, and yeah. He sensibly decides not to go for that. We still have a little bit of time for that, and yeah, if anything happens between us now, that's just opening the door for Pinecone and Limitless to go through. So yeah, just keeping it under control nicely now, turning everything down once again, and we're going green here, even though the tyres are notably starting to let go. The low fuel is helping, and we're looking a little bit worse for wear in terms of fuel. So we haven't been able to run as much rich as we would have liked through this race, and that was just the main regret. I might have been able to break the DRS if I wasn't having to run so much standard in certain places, but yeah, it is what it is. You can always say these ifs and buts, but you know, at the end of the day, that didn't happen, and we're just going to have to make do with what we got. So trying to use the ERS as much as possible here without trying to derate, trying to break the slipstream as well, and we've got a decent gap here heading on to the end of the second to last lap, and as long as we get a decent run as we lock up, and that might cost us here down the straight, just trying to deploy as much as possible, because if we can survive into this first corner, it's going to be very hard for these guys to match me through the second half of the lap and try and get past me on this last lap. And as you can see, we've deployed as much as we dare down that first straight, and we've kept the lead. And that is the first of 3 battles done now, and as long as we can stay ahead through the hairpin and heading into the Casio Triangle, last chicane, we are looking good for this race now. And yeah, at this point I was just trying to keep it as clean as possible. You can see some corrections going on in the steering, not feeling so confident, but just doing what we can, still going green in the first sector, so we're doing what we need to do, not giving these guys any opportunities. And Antoine is actually starting to drop back into the clutches of Pinecone. We go a little bit deep, but trying to get a good exit as we do in qualifying. It's not necessarily, 100% right line through that corner. As long as you get a good exit off the hairpin, that's all that matters really. And we've done that. And trying to get a good exit through here now, using as much of the track as we can, and that is a nice exit now, heading onto the back straight, and the arrow's completely gone now, and Antoine is dropping back. And at this point, I was feeling pretty happy heading green once again through sector 2. And now Antoine's going to have to look behind him because Pinecone is coming into the last chicane. As you can see, he goes for it, and they're fighting now, and that has just confirmed the win for me now. Heading up to the line, we have won the Japanese Grand Prix. And yeah, that was that was it. That was amazing for me. That was my first win in this league, first win in a long time, and you know, Pinecone and Limitless and Antoine, absolutely no slouches. So to beat those guys was a nice moment for me. And unfortunately Antoine had a couple of penalties, so that dropped into P4, but he drove really well as well, so GG's still those guys. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm going to try and get some more out in the near future as well, hopefully a little bit sooner than the last couple of videos have been. But yeah, until then, make sure you take care and peace out.